Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to be doing kind of a product review and install video on this Kicker PT250. And we have a factory head unit. This unit right here, this Kicker PT250, is supposedly supposed to hook up to anything. Factory or aftermarket, it does not matter. If you do have an aftermarket, they do say you'll need, if you don't want to use speaker wires, RCA 2-speaker wire looms. So, right here's what we have. The Kicker PT250. We're going to be getting this right here, and we're going to be doing an install video, open box, and putting it in this truck. So, immediately looking inside the box, you of course see your manual here. Pull out these little filler pieces on the sides, and this one has our wiring. This kit has everything needed to do the wiring for your vehicle. So we've got the bass knob hookups, amp wires, speaker wires, everything is right here. So we'll set this aside as well. And there it is. All right, there is your speaker. So it's not very large. You know, it's a small, compact speaker, but this right here is going to be something that's going to be perfect if you don't want, you're not looking for a competition car rattling the windows. You're just looking for some good, clean, solid bass to add to your music, especially if you have an old pickup or something like this, or even a new car. This can even fit under the seat. So this right here is perfect for those applications. So now let's get this thing sitting in the back, and I'll show you exactly how to put this thing in your car and wire it all in. Okay, now one of the first things you need to note is which side of the subwoofer are your wires going to be coming into. Now on the subwoofer, the wires are on what I would call the passenger side, with the speaker going towards the front. So you need to make sure when you run your wires that all your wires are ran to that passenger side or right side of your subwoofer. Now the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be running my bass knob. So the bass knob will be the first thing that I'm going to be running the wire to. I'm going to go ahead and mount my bass knob and run my wires under my carpet to the side that the wires need to connect. So let's get that put in. Let's talk bass knobs here. Anytime you're installing a system, it's very unwise not to have a bass knob unless you just want to throw full bass all the time. Now the bass knob, what it does, it controls the amount of bass your amperage of your amplifier puts to your subwoofer, so you can control the intensity of your bass. So on this truck right here, this right here was a cover where the hood latch used to be, the release lever. Well, we're not using this anymore. So this right here would be a perfect spot for our bass knob. There's going to be no contact with our leg or our feet, so this shouldn't have any interference with touching anything. So this will be exactly where I'm going to hide my bass knob. I can easily put my fingers under that, turn it up or down, and not have any issue with my legs touching it. So that's where we're going to put it. I'm going to place the bass knob exactly where I want it to go. Then mark my slots exactly where I need to drill the holes. Alright, there's my holes. And then sit those into the holes that I just made and fasten the screws. Now that that's done, I can open up my RCA wires, or kind of looks like a headphone wire. If some of y'all know what headphone wires are, I know some of y'all people installing these are a little young and y'all don't have headphone wires nowadays. Now it's all Bluetooth. I'm going to start with the side of my cab here. From the side of this cab, I'm going to run it exactly where it needs to go, out away from everything until it clears everything under my dash. And I plug it right into the back there. And there it is, plugged in. All right, so now that all this has been ran from this point of the carpet, on your car you may have to pull your plastic pieces up on your sides of your rockers and stuff. No big deal. Main thing is we've got this ran from here up. All this part is finished for the bass knob. Now we just need to run the rest of this wiring under our carpet away from everything that's in the way, exactly to the right side of where that speaker is so that it can hook up. So now I'm gonna put this underneath the carpet and slide it back towards that other side, and then put my hand on the carpet and grab it and pull it through. Okay, and there it is. So now I can run this all the way over to the side the speaker's gonna be on, and then I know exactly where it's gonna be, so I can leave it right there. I have all this extra wiring right here. What we're gonna do is run this down the inside of the carpet and wind it up and tuck it away inside the rocker. Away from everything, and now we have no more little RCA base knob wires. So base knob is complete, so now we can work on the rest of these wires. So the next wire that we're going to be working on is going to be this one, the fusible link wire. Now I've installed a lot of these radios before, these systems, so I already know where everything goes, so it's going to be easier for me to do this without having to mess with the instructions. So fusible link wire is going to have to go in, and then we can start running this wire loom here back to the back as well. Since this here is what goes into your amp or your sub box amp combo, this is the wire that we're also going to be running, just like we did on that little auxiliary wire that goes to your base knob, running it the exact same way, starting under your carpet, sliding it through and pulling it through with enough room that this will hook into the side of your box. So that's what we're going to be doing now. And just pull it through where you have enough room to hook it into your box. You have these two. Those two wires will be going to your speaker wires. Now I have speaker wires that are right here in the floor that go to that side and to this side, so both sides. So these wires here, we will pull these through, pull it through. All right, there's those. And the rest we can leave here. Now the ground wire we can leave up front if we want to hook it to a ground in the front, or we can simply ground it to the frame right here by the sub. Okay, now that we've ran all those wires to the back, all those rear wires can be wired up back there now. So the only wire we have to worry about is this one. This is our power wire that goes to the battery. Now don't forget your fusible link. You also have to hook that up. And there's your connector for your fusible link, and you have a connector for your battery. All that's important. Now there's something else you could pick up to make this real nice if you want to put it in your car and have added protection, and that's heat shrink. This right here is heat shrink. You can pick this up for just a few dollars at Harbor Freight is where I picked this up, and it works great. And your heat shrink is just these little bitty rubber looking hoses. Once you have your connector slid over your wire, make sure this would go on first. You would add your wire in and crimp it, then your heat shrink would slide directly over that, which this one's a little tight, but directly over this. Once you've heated it up with either a lighter or a torch all the way around, it will contract and it will tighten up against your wire and glue itself, so there's no issue of that ever coming back off. So that's just a little added extra tip. This does not come with a kit, but for a few dollars, go down to your local store. Walmart may even carry it. Pick that up, because that's going to be added looks to your wire job and added security so you don't burn your car to the ground. Now we need to run this power wire here up to our battery. So using the same method, going around all of our inner structure, making sure it's tucked away, we're just going to be routing it through. And it's also good to find a hole in your firewall. If not, you can always make a hole. I like to find the little rubber garments, like the little rubber garment that's already in your firewall, like that rubber garment there, or that one at the top, and simply popping a little hole in it and sliding the wire through. Don't ever pull on your wire, always feed it, because if you just pull on it, you could cut the coating and then ground it out and then cause a lot of problems for you down the road, unless you got full coverage insurance, and then you still got problems down the road. There is where I've pulled my wire through on my firewall. Now this wire you can pull tight and just run it real clean wherever you need to run it, and over, of course my battery already has a connector on it, so I'll be running it to that connector there. Okay, there's the wire that I'm going to be running into my wire connector here. I have my heat shrink on. You want to make sure you pull your fuse out, because it could contact the ground and blow your fuse. So I go ahead and get my wire in where it needs to be, slide it into the connector, and crimp that connector. Now that I've connected my wire, this little heat shrink slides right over top. Then you take a heat source and you just run it really lightly over the wire, and it shrinks that heat shrink all the way around the wire. And there you have a really nicely protected coating over your wire. So just let that sit to cool down, and this wire will be perfectly hardened. Here are my left speaker wires. I've cut them. I will reconnect them and use heat shrink. On a Ford Ranger, the left wire is the gray one with blue. That's the positive. Now on your left side wiring harness, the left is going to be white, is going to be positive, and white and black negative. So I'm going to wire the left wires from my kit to my left side speaker, and then this side will be hooked up. I'm going to be giving myself plenty of little extra wire here and cutting that. Go ahead and splice those. Okay. Now according to the manual, the one with the black in it is the negative. So I'm just going to strip the coating. Ranger form, this is a Ranger harness, so the blue is going to be the positive. So the one that is all white is going to go to the blue. So I'll put that on the blue, and then I'll twist that. Okay, there you can see I've connected that factory speaker wire back, and I've wired in my positive back to my positive. So now I've got this little heat shrink I'm going to put over the wire, and then once I attach the other wire, I will put the large heat shrink over the entire assembly and heat that up so that it's completely sealed, no issues. Now we're on the passenger side. We're going to be doing it the exact same way we did on the driver, and you'll see here, just like we did, positive, negative. There's going to be gray is going to be the positive on the right, gray with black going to be the negative. So we're going to go ahead and hook that up to the speaker wires right here for the speaker I have sitting in here, and then we're going to go ahead and plug that into our speaker and get it set into place. Now we're going to set our bass subwoofer right in place. Now the remote wire here is not going to be an option for me. I'm not going to run this, so you'll have to put it onto the DC mode on high. You have to go ahead, make sure you plug it in before you turn on the power. Turn on your remote bass knob, plug that in, and go ahead and plug in your harness. Now when I turn the key on, that little power light should come on. And it does. So now I have my power light, so I know I have bass. So now all I gotta do is just check, make sure everything works, and that's it. Okay, now I'm gonna do an honest review of what I think. I'm going to turn the volume up. I've got my bass knob completely turned down all the way, and then I'm going to slowly turn it up. I'm not going to play the audio because I don't want a copyright infringement, so I will mute the volume just for a quick second and then see what I think. Okay, it definitely has a lot of bass. Now for a pickup truck like this one right here, just behind the seat, that's plenty. That's definitely plenty of bass, for sure. As for if you want to put it in the trunk of your car, I'm not going to recommend it for a lot of bass for the trunk of your car, just because it's, you know, it's not King Kong in the trunk. You know, you don't got a lot of sub, like, competition wise. So I'm not going to recommend this for the trunk of a car. But for behind the seat of a truck, small cab, yeah, there's plenty of bass. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it sure it would sound good in a car, but if you're gonna spend, you know, $200, buy a combo sub amp kit online. That's gonna do a whole lot more. Personally, if I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna put like a W6 JL Audio in it or W7. Of course, you're also gonna be spending over $1,000. So for the price, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. You know, $200 at Walmart, $30 for an extra 3-year warranty. Can't go wrong. But hey, my review is I like it. I think it sounds great. So yeah, buy it. And catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.